Many people believe that walking is the ultimate solution for protecting the heart after age 60. It's common to hear doctors recommend daily walks as an almost mandatory habit, and in fact, they can bring benefits. But what almost no one talks about is that, for many seniors, walking not only stops being enough, but it can become risky, especially when there's joint pain, frequent fatigue, lack of balance, or a history of heart problems. The aging body reacts differently to repetitive effort, and constant impact on the joints can accelerate inflammatory processes. In addition, walking incorrectly, on hard surfaces or without preparation, can increase the risk of falls and even cause more fatigue than benefits. That's why I want to show you 5 simple, safe, and scientifically proven exercises that can replace or complement walking, bringing even greater benefits for circulation, heart health, and your daily energy. These are accessible movements that can be done at home, without expensive equipment, no gym, and without the risk of overloading the body. The first exercise is the seated foot pump. It might seem like a small movement, but it's one of the most effective for activating circulation when walking isn't possible. By lifting the heel and then the ball of the foot, you engage the calf muscles, which many cardiologists call the body's second heart. That's because the calves help pump blood from the legs back to the heart, easing the heart's workload and preventing swelling, cold feet, and even dangerous clots. The best part is that it can be done anywhere, sitting in the living room watching TV, reading a book, or even in a waiting room. I like to tell the story of Harold, 78, from Ohio. He couldn't walk more than a few steps without feeling dizzy. When he learned the seated foot pump, he started with 20 reps every hour while watching movies. In 2 weeks, the swelling had gone down, his energy returned, and he proudly said, "I feel like I've regained control of my body." That's the power of a simple but consistent movement. The second exercise is the wall push-up. Contrary to what many believe, you don't have to lie on the floor or lift heavy weights to strengthen the muscles in your chest, arms, and back. The wall push-up is done by placing your hands on a firm wall and bringing your body forward and back. This movement improves circulation in the chest area, strengthens the muscles that support breathing, and activates the core, which provides body stability. Beyond the physical benefits, there's also an emotional impact. You feel your body stronger, your breathing fuller, and your posture more upright. Eleanor, 82, from Idaho, started with just 5 reps a day. Within a few weeks, she was doing 10 with ease and said, "I discovered my body just needed permission to be strong again." That's the kind of transformation that brings confidence and even improves mood. The third exercise is the seated leg lift, or leg raise in the chair. Just sit upright, lift one leg a few inches off the ground, hold for a few seconds, then lower it slowly. Then switch legs. This simple movement activates the thighs, glutes, and calves, muscles that are crucial for maintaining active circulation and preventing the typical muscle loss that comes with aging. With every repetition, blood flows back to the heart more easily, the body warms up, and the legs grow stronger. Walter, 79, from Iowa, felt like he was trapped in his own home, with no energy. When he began lifting his legs during commercial breaks on TV, he felt his life changing. Within a few weeks, he had more energy, less anxiety, and a growing sense of pride in regaining control over his body. The fourth exercise is the hand grip squeeze. Few people know this, but strengthening your grip is one of the most important indicators of longevity and cardiovascular health. Studies show that people with stronger grip strength have a lower risk of mortality and greater independence in old age. When you squeeze a rubber ball or even a rolled-up towel, you activate small blood vessels in the hands and arms, improving circulation and lowering blood pressure. Ruth, 80, from Charleston, always carries a small yellow ball in her pocket. She does 3 squeezes sitting, 3 standing, several times a day. She reports that her energy has increased, her heart beats more regularly, and even her mood has improved. Small actions bring big results, and in the case of the hand grip, each squeeze is a message to your body that you still have the strength to hold on to life. The fifth exercise is the seated leg hold, or extended leg hold. It seems simple. You sit, extend one leg, and hold it for a few seconds before lowering it. But this exercise intensely activates the thigh muscles, improves circulation, and reduces venous pressure, which is essential to prevent swelling and discomfort in the legs. Frank, 78, from Tucson, had suffered a mild stroke and felt useless. When he started doing the leg hold, he thought it wouldn't make a difference. But weeks later, he was climbing stairs with more confidence and said, "I feel like I'm part of my own recovery again." The exercise gave him back dignity, independence, and hope. These 5 movements reveal an important truth. You don't need to walk miles, run marathons, or lift heavy weights to protect your heart. What your body needs is intelligent, frequent movement that's adapted to your reality. Every foot pump, every wall press, every hand squeeze, every lifted leg is a silent message saying, "I'm still here, I still matter, and my body is still capable." And that mindset changes everything. Many seniors feel left behind, as if the world spins too fast and they can't keep up. But the truth is that inside every aging body lies a reserve of vitality waiting to be awakened. Small, consistent exercises reignite that flame. They don't require sophisticated equipment, long hours, or painful effort. All they require is willingness, curiosity, and the belief that the body, even at 70, 80, or 90, can still become stronger. If you suffer from poor circulation, swollen legs, fatigue at the end of the day, cold feet, or a feeling of weakness, don't rely on walking as your only solution. Try these exercises. Start slowly, one at a time, and observe how your body responds. In a short time, you may feel less swelling, more energy, deeper breathing, a clearer mind, and the confidence to get back to your daily tasks with ease. When we think about exercises to protect the heart, we often focus only on walks or light jogging. But science shows that there are far more specific movements that directly impact circulation and heart health, especially in older adults. The human body functions like a machine that depends on a steady flow of blood, and when certain areas remain inactive, the heart must work twice as hard to compensate. That's why these 5 simple exercises are so powerful. Each one acts like a gear that helps the central engine, the heart, work more efficiently. Let's begin by understanding the role of the seated foot pump. Every time you move your ankle up and down, you contract the calf muscles. These muscles act like a natural pump that pushes blood back toward the heart. Without this help, blood tends to pool in the legs, causing swelling, cold feet, varicose veins, and even clots. In people over 60 who spend long periods sitting, this risk increases. When you do the foot pump, even while sitting, it immediately reduces pressure on the heart because the blood flows more efficiently. This not only protects against vascular issues, but also gives an immediate feeling of lightness in the legs. That's why many seniors report feeling warmer, lighter feet after just a few rounds. Wall push-ups have a different but equally essential effect. They activate large upper body muscles like the pectorals, deltoids, and triceps, in addition to strengthening the abdomen. When these muscles are engaged, they help pump blood through the chest and trunk region. This improves lung capacity, strengthens breathing, and also protects the heart by reducing arterial stiffness. Additionally, this exercise helps correct posture, a common issue for older adults who spend a lot of time hunched over. With better posture, the chest opens, the lungs have more space to expand, and the heart pumps more efficiently. It's a simple movement, but with powerful results. The seated leg lift is one of the most complete exercises when we talk about circulation. It activates the thighs, glutes, and calves, essentially engaging the entire lower body. The more muscles are activated, the more blood is pumped back to the heart. This exercise helps lower resting heart rate over time, improves physical endurance, and even increases confidence while walking by strengthening the knees and hips. For those dealing with balance issues, this strength is essential. The hand grip squeeze may seem insignificant, but serious research says otherwise. Studies from the American Heart Association show that hand grip exercises can reduce systolic blood pressure by up to 10 points in people with hypertension. This happens because the action of squeezing and releasing stimulates small blood vessels, improves artery elasticity, and trains the nervous system to regulate pressure more effectively. Additionally, grip strength is one of the strongest indicators of longevity. Seniors with stronger grip strength are less likely to fall, more independent, and more capable of performing daily tasks without assistance. That's why strengthening something as simple as your hand is, in fact, strengthening both your heart and your independence. Lastly, the seated leg hold, or extended leg pause, is an exercise that's deceptively simple. Holding the leg out straight for a few seconds requires strength from the thigh and abdominal muscles, and this continuous contraction helps pump blood back to the heart. In addition, it reduces venous pressure, which is the pooling of blood in the legs caused by sitting for long periods. People who suffer from varicose veins or swelling often feel relief after a few weeks of practice. In the long term, this exercise improves the ability to climb stairs, walk short distances, and even stand up from a chair with ease. Now that you understand how each exercise works in the body, I'd like to offer some practical suggestions for fitting them into your daily routine. You don't need to do them all at once or turn your home into a gym. The key is consistency and integrating them naturally into your day. For example, right in the morning as you sit for breakfast, you can begin with 20-foot pumps on each foot. During the day, take a break and do 10 wall push-ups. While watching TV, do 10 alternating leg lifts, one with each leg. When you're on the phone, hold a rubber ball and do 10 hand squeezes per hand. And before bed, sitting on the edge of the bed, do 5 leg holds, holding each leg for 10 seconds. And the seated leg hold has a direct impact on heart function because it reduces venous pressure and improves blood return to the heart. Research from the Circulation Journal shows that isometric leg exercises, such as holding the leg outstretched, increase heart rate variability, a marker of cardiovascular health and balance in the autonomic nervous system. This means your body responds better to stress, effort, and even rest, creating natural protection against arrhythmias and fatigue. But before practicing, it's important to talk about safety and adjustments. Every body is unique, and what works for one person might be uncomfortable for another. That's why a few guidelines help make the practice safe. First, never hold your breath during the exercises, as this can increase blood pressure. Inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth, and keep the movement flowing naturally. Second, if you feel joint pain, adjust the movement. For example, if your knees hurt during the leg lift, lower the height or perform shorter alternating movements. Third, always respect your body's limits. If you feel dizzy, too tired, or in pain, stop, breathe deeply, and only resume when you feel better. These exercises are meant to help, not to cause suffering. The key is to spread the movements throughout the day. You don't need to dedicate a full hour. The body over 60 responds better to short, regular stimuli than to long, tiring sessions. 3 minutes of exercise done several times a day can be more effective than a long walk that causes pain or exhaustion. Now let me share a few more inspiring stories that show how these movements change lives. Helena, 74, suffered from resistant high blood pressure, and even with medication, her levels remained concerning. Her doctor recommended light exercises, but she didn't have the energy to walk. When she began practicing the hand grip squeeze 3 times a day, every day, she noticed that within 2 months, her blood pressure had dropped from 150/95 to 130/85. It was the first time in years she had stabilized without increasing her medication. Carlos, 77, had lost the confidence to walk alone after a fall. He spent almost the entire day sitting, feeling weaker and weaker. A physical therapist taught him the seated leg lift. At first, he could only manage 3 repetitions per leg, but over time, he increased it. After 2 months, he was able to stand up from the chair without support, and today, he walks short distances in the yard again. For him, the change wasn't just physical, it was emotional. I regained my dignity. Dolores, 79, suffered from swollen ankles and poor sleep. She learned the seated foot pump and began practicing it before bedtime, lying in bed. The results were immediate. Within 2 weeks, she reported less swelling and more restful nights. For her, the lesson was simple. I don't need to do a lot, I just need to do it right. These stories remind us that the power lies in consistency and care. You don't need to do difficult or painful movements to change your life. You just need to choose something simple, do it every day, and trust the process. The body responds, even after 70, 80, or 90 years. Now that you've learned these 5 exercises in detail, I want you to see how they fit into a practical and organized vision. Often, When we hear about new routines, it feels like we need to completely change our lifestyle. But the truth is that these movements don't require big changes, just consistency and small doses of discipline. These exercises respect your limitations, but they also have the power to transform your heart, your circulation, and even your self-confidence. Let's briefly review each one to make it clear. The seated foot pump is the natural pumping of the feet that activates the calves, restores energy to the legs, and protects against swelling and blood clots. The wall push-up strengthens the chest, arms, and breathing, and also improves posture. The seated leg lift activates thighs and glutes, giving firmness and confidence while walking. The hand grip squeeze strengthens the hands, lowers blood pressure, and is a marker of longevity. And the seated leg hold works the legs isometrically, improves circulation, and builds endurance for simple tasks like climbing stairs or standing up from a chair. 5 movements that fit into any routine and require no fancy equipment. Now let's talk about practice levels. If you're just starting and have never done anything like this before, you can begin at the beginner level. At this stage, the idea is to practice only 1 or 2 exercises at a time, in a short and gentle way. For example, foot pumps in the morning and hand grip squeezes in the afternoon. Just a few repetitions, enough to build the habit. Once you feel more comfortable, you can move to the intermediate level, where you organize 3 exercises throughout the day, alternating legs, arms, and chest. You might do foot pumps and leg lifts in the morning, wall push-ups in the afternoon, and hand grips before bed. The goal here is to spread movement to keep circulation active throughout the day. The advanced level is for those who already practice regularly and want to boost their routine. At this stage, you combine all 5 exercises daily with short but frequent sets throughout the day. Your body adapts, and you gain not only more strength but also more confidence for other activities, like short walks or even light additional exercises. I want you to understand that aging doesn't mean accepting weakness. The body is capable of responding at any age, as long as you give it the right stimuli. These 5 exercises aren't just physical movements. They are messages to your heart, your mind, and your self-esteem. Every foot pump, every wall push-up, every hand squeeze, every leg lift is a silent message. I still matter. I still have strength. I can still take care of myself. That's why my practical recommendation is simple. Choose one of these exercises today and do it. Don't wait for tomorrow. It can be just 5 foot pumps while sitting, or 3 hand squeezes with a soft ball. This small gesture is the beginning of a transformation. Don't underestimate the power of small things done consistently. The body doesn't demand perfection. It demands attention. And now I want to speak directly to you, who stayed with me until the end. If this content opened your eyes to new possibilities, I ask you to commit to your own well-being. Subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next videos, and most importantly, leave your comment below telling me which of these exercises you already do or plan to start today. Share your experience, because your voice not only motivates others, but also creates a support community where everyone can learn from each other's journey. It doesn't matter if you're 60, 70, 80, or 90 years old, your body still deserves care, still deserves movement, still deserves dignity. These 5 exercises are your invitation to take back control, protect your heart, and live the next years with more energy, more clarity, and more independence. So choose now, make your first move, and feel your body respond. You'll be surprised by the strength that still lives inside you.